Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Eddie Jennings from EJSLLC.com. This video is going to be another in my series of RHCE practice sessions where I'm preparing for the Red Hat Certified Engineer exam. Before I dive in, I want to thank returning subscribers for watching another video, as well as invite anyone who hasn't subscribed yet to click that subscribe button and ring the bell when you do, so you can be aware of when new content comes available. Also, if you enjoy this video or find it useful, make sure you click like and feel free to share with others that might also find it useful. In this video, I'm going to start with the Used Advanced Ansible Features objective set, and we'll be looking at the create and use templates to create customized configuration files. Before I get started, I do want to remind you that this is not intended to be authoritative information, nor is this intended to be a tutorial. Rather, it's an opportunity for me to do a self-assessment and talk about whatever objective is at hand and attempt to do some examples and such, with the hopes of seeing if I would be prepared to handle exam tasks related to the objective. Ideally, at the end of the video, I'll say, yep, I feel pretty confident about this, I'm good to go. Otherwise, I'll make note of it, and between now and just under 2 weeks from now, when I take my test, I'll spend some time filling in some knowledge gaps. That being said, I do try to have the information as accurate as possible for you. So in some previous videos, we worked with line and file and block and file, and also used the copy module to be able to make some changes to lines of text within a file, and also just to create a file and add some text and such to it. The template module is a bit different in the fact that templates are designed to produce files based off of whatever information is in the template, hence the name. And this is particularly useful for configuration files, because in Linux, almost all configuration files, and I say almost all, probably 100% of all configuration files are simply plain text files. So the template module is the perfect thing to be able to make that happen. So I'm going to do a couple of examples of using the template module, and I'm going to try to do some examples of putting some logic in template modules to show you what can be created, and then if I have time at the end, I'll try to do an actual configuration file using the template module. So first, what I'm going to do is create me a little directory here, and we're going to call it templates. I'm going to put all my templates in that directory. So let's make one basic text.j2. Now the thing with templates is it uses the Jinja 2 templating language, which I am not a master of. I know some basics of it just from what I've worked with Ansible, but I'm sure there is far more to it than this. But this particular template file ending in the .j2 extension, if I were to just have a couple of lines in this, such as here is the first line of my template. Here is another line of my template. We'll skip a few lines. Let's make a commented thing. Here's a comment and just some random text. So I'm going to save that. So I'm going to use actually the template module in an ad hoc command. So we'll do Ansible labrel an01. We'll use the template module. Our source is going to be this template file. So src equals templates basic text.j2. Our destination is going to be whatever file that we're wanting to create. So for this, I'm just going to do temp basic text.txt. And then if we want, we can specify ownership and the mode as well. And we don't need to become for that, and let's see what happens here. I know what the problem is. Need to go back to my original directory because that's where I have my configuration file. So let's run this one more time. All right, and if I were to do Ansible ad hoc command, again, an01, and the argument is just going to be cat tmp basic text.txt. Oh, not tst, txt. That's going to complain because it won't be able to find it. And we see that it created a file literally matching what we have in the template file. And essentially that is all templating is. You're basically making this file and you want your resultant file to be the exact same as it. And thinking this through, you can already probably see how this is useful for creating your configuration files and such. Now, the power within templates is the fact that you can pass variables to these, and you can use some logic with that. So let's make another template, and we are going to, let's go, actually we'll just vi templates, and I'm going to call this index.html.j2. And this is probably going to look familiar. I've used this example a couple of times in some other videos. But what we're going to do here is we're going to basically produce what would be the index.html page for Apache. So let's do HTML, head, close that. Now, those of you that are web designers, you're probably going to just cry at the HTML that I'm writing. I haven't done this in a long time. We'll do body, and we'll do h1, and we're going to input a variable. Notice I'm using the double brackets for this variable name. The syntax of double brackets actually comes from the Jinja 2 syntax, and it just happens to be the syntax that's also used for your Ansible modules. So we're going to do, actually we're going to do welcome to Ansible Facts, host name, H1. We'll start a paragraph. My IP addresses are, we'll start another paragraph, and we'll do the Ansible fact. I think it's all IPv4 addresses, I think is the name of that fact. We'll find out soon enough. Fix my tag here, close the body tag, close the HTML tag, and that's it. So let's make us a little playbook here. So we'll vi deploy apache.html. Actually, I need to do this. What's my current directory? Okay, yeah, I'm in the right place. So we'll vi deploy apache.yml, and I've added actually a second. Well, let's see. I guess this will work. I haven't done this on Ubuntu in a long time, but I've added another VM to the mix, one that has Debian, and we're going to be using that for a couple of other examples. So this will be deploy a web server. Host, we'll do host all, become yes, tasks. All right, so first we need to, I want to install our packages. So, actually I'm going to do this just on the Rails server, simply because Ubuntu uses Apache 2, and I honestly can't remember if the service is called HTTPD or Apache 2. So I'm going to do our list of hosts here. There's something better I can do. I go into my inventory file. I'm going to make a group called rel, and this will solve this problem. So we'll just deploy this to the rel hosts. Okay, so we're going to install packages. Use the yum module, name HTTPD, state, I'll go ahead and do latest. We're going to configure services. Again, I'm going to loop through this. Well, I know that firewall D is already enabled just from experience. Otherwise, I would include firewall D with this. So HTTPD, state started. Just as a good habit, enabled, yes. Configure firewall. We use service this time instead of port. I almost made the same mistake I made a little while ago. State enabled, permanent, yes, immediate, yes. I'm going to do deploy index file. So we'll use our template module. This is going to look very similar to what we did with the ad hoc command. Templates index.html.j2. Destination is going to be var www html index.html, and this should be it. Let me just look over this real quick, make sure I don't have any syntax errors or trying to avoid those. Installing HTTPD, we configure the service, configure the firewall, deploy index. So I think we're good with this. Ansible playbook, deploy Apache, and let's see what happens. We were so close. I must have mistyped one of my, Ansible fact. I don't know what I was thinking there. It needs to be Ansible facts. Let's try it one more time. I can't believe I didn't catch that the other time. Maybe if I spell, oops, the wrong file there. If I spell Ansible correctly with the second one, that will be more effective. I give my sarcasm, a little annoyed with myself with these simple mistakes. I guess the lesson to take away from that is on the test, don't try to go fast. Of course, you have to be mindful of your time and you want to work efficiently, but trying to go too fast and making little typo mistakes like that will end up costing you time in the end. I've also found that to be true in real life in system administration. If you take the time, get it right the first time, you end up saving some time. Okay, so now for the test, let's open up Firefox here and let's see what we get. This little VM doesn't have a lot of RAM, so I think I'll just do this one at a time rather than going to all of the different pages. Actually, just proof positive here. Let's go in and clear the cache. If I can remember exactly how to do that in Firefox. It's been a while since I've done this. I'm not real disciplined about this on my own computers. Okay, so let's go to labrel AN01. All right, so welcome to lab AN01, and by default it's going to show the index page. My IP addresses are such. Let's try labrel AN02. Oh, 170. I was wondering why that was as large as it was. All right, so that looks good. And I think 03 and 04 are going to be fine as well. And, yeah, let's check 4 just to be thorough. Yep, and let's look at the source. Let's see if I can zoom this. Maybe I can. I'm sure it looks like a little mice type. Well, better yet, I'll do this. You can probably see it, but just in case. There's the HTML, and it's following the pattern that we had for our template. And really that is all that is to it. And the variables that I used are from the facts that were gathered by the playbook. Now you don't just have to use facts for your templates. So let's close this here. So let's do another playbook, and before we do that, let's create a little template. We're going to call this testing4.j2. Now as far as the .j2, everything I've seen has .j2 with that. We might try using one of these without .j2. Might be more for a human readable thing rather than templates require it. I'm just not 100% sure off the top of my head on that. So in this template, we're going to go through a loop. And let's do this. Here are the packages to be installed. And what we're going to do is a single curly brace and a parentheses. This is going to begin a code block for us. And loop structure and such works pretty similar to what you would have in Bash. So we're going to do for, and we're going to create a variable, and we're just going to call this for app in, and then the name of our variable that we're going to be using is, I can't remember if I have to do that or not, package list. I'm pretty sure I do. And we're going to simply put package name, colon, and then app. Because remember, just like if you're doing a for loop in Bash, for I in whatever, that I variable is what's going to appear. And then end for. We do not use do and done. We just do the end for that. All right, so let's make our playbook testing for.yml, testing for loops and templates. We'll do this. We'll just do it against a little labrel AN01. Don't need to become for this. We are going to make a variable, and we're going to call it package list. And for package list, let's do httpd vsftpd. What would be another good package to do? We'll do WeChat and TCP dump. All right, tasks, name, create a temp file. So we use the template module. Source is going to be templates testing4.j2. I'm pretty sure that was the name of it. Yeah. And the destination is going to be temp package list.txt. So package list, all right, I just want to make sure that the variable name matched. Sometimes when you're doing kind of impromptu practice sessions like this, this isn't necessarily a planned out thing, just like all of these. It's, let me just talk about what I know to see how much I know with it. Sometimes you'll forget some of the little details that you do. So what's going to happen, or what should happen, famous last words in IT, right, is we should loop through everything that's in the package list variable, each item, and it's going to give us the name of that particular item. And so what should occur is we would have a final file that says go through a loop, here are the packages installed, and then a number of lines equal to the number of packages that we have for this. So Ansible Playbook Testing 4. I did not look over the syntax, so there's a good chance there will be an error, but let's see. Okay, so template error, templating string, let's see, expected token, you got that. All right, so let's see where I made my mistake here. So template, testing 4, yep, testing 4.j2. Not 100% sure what the problem is. I'm going to try this first because this was something I wasn't sure about. Let's see if that makes a difference. That must have been it. I guess that makes sense because it's kind of like how, the when keyword, it's expecting a variable, so you don't have to put in the double brackets, but you would for just calling that variable in any other place. So let us do an ad hoc command here. Cat temp testing, wait, no, I called it package list. Or better, grumble. I forgot what I was going to call that. So we'll just do ls temp. There we go. Cat package list.txt. If I spell package correctly, that would be helpful. And if I give it the actual path, that will also be helpful. Okay, and there we see where it went through the loop of all of those items. Now, this list, it can be a list like that. You can also have a multi-valued variable. So let's go back into, or rather a list that has multiple little things in it. So let's do, I don't want to do the deploy Apache one. I want to go back to our for test. All right, and so now let's do this. So we're going to use a multi-valued variable here. And we're going to have first package HTTPD, second package WeChat, third package TCP dump. And I need to add my quotation mark at the end of this. All right, so this I'm not sure if it's going to work, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this is actually going to work. It might not. Okay, so let's run the playbook again. I was just looking over a couple of things just to see. All right, so let's see what happened. Okay, so what it did for the list was it gave us each of the properties that were underneath. All right, that makes sense. So let's do this. Let's go back into our playbook. And what we're going to do is add this line, or add another sub property of each of these, or maybe sub attribute might be the better word for that. All right, we're going to run this again exactly as written because I want to see what this gives me as a result. I expect it to say just first package, second package, third package again. Yeah, there was nothing that changed with that. So now what I want to do, let's go back into our template. And I'm going to add package name. And let's see what happens. All right, so that should have an attribute for package name, I would expect. So perhaps that did not go through, because I could do something like this. Let's go back into our template. At package name, that's not defined. One thing you can do, you can do comments in templates. Pretty sure that is the syntax for the comment. So I'm going to add that to each of these lines here. And this comment is a comment for the actual template itself, not adding a comment line to a text file. So let's do package list first package name. This should be valid. Values not allowed here. The package is to be installed. Let's try this one more time. I'm just going to remove these lines. So that's something I need to review, is comments in templates. So I thought that I had that right. All right, so it is still complaining about, do I have to escape that? Let's take a look at how the file looks currently. Yeah, something's weird, because that was working before. Testing templates, testing 4. So let me just take away the colon. I'll do the same thing for the show me something part. Something else I thought I saw. That was odd. Nope, that looks right. I can't believe it. Let me scroll up just a bit. Yep. Some of you watching the some of you watching the video are probably thinking, Eddie, you are an absolute fool, because I'm trying to run a playbook that is the template file. That's so annoying. Well, let's do this then, since I know that the template file was probably not a problem. Let's just try this one thing that I was wanting to test first. All right, let's do our ad hoc command. All right, so you see how we had the properties of that variable. So I'm scrolling up here. I want to see where I made that first error. Okay, so in that case, what I need to review is like the sub-properties of variables in a loop. I need to practice that some. But now I'm curious. Let me reinstate my comments. Let's see if that does anything. I was pretty sure of my syntax for comments. So I was incorrect about that. All right, so I need to review that. Maybe I need to have the chevron on the other side as well. I say chevron. Actually, what's it called? Octothorpe is its actual name. Let's try that. Yeah, and I'm sure I could probably find templates somewhere to check that, but that's something I definitely need to practice. So I don't think enough to completely fail me with templates, but I've got to make sure I know the proper syntax for doing a comment within templates. All right, so the other thing that I wanted to show was using the if statement, which is going to function very much like your for statement. So what I want to do is I'm going to list my facts real quick. So let me make a little debug.yml and do this real quick. Debug var Ansible facts. Redirect that to facts.txt. All right, so what I want to do, I want to make sure of the particular fact that I want to use for this. So we're going to do distribution file variety, I think is what I want. Okay, so we're going to make another template. And we're going to call this packages.j2. What we're going to do is list a particular line based off of this if statement. So here is the Apache package to install for RHEL systems, and we're going to do if Ansible facts equals Red Hat. We're going to type RHEL HTTPD else Debian Apache 2 and then end if. That's odd. Copying all that text. VI packages J2. Not 100% sure what was going on there. All right, so let's go back and we're going to call this testing if.yml, testing if in templates, and the host, we're actually going to do this against all of the hosts. No need to become for that. Tasks. Name list Apache package. We're going to use the template module. Source is going to be templates, packages.j2. Destination is going to be TMP, packages, well, let's do TMP apache.txt. All right, that should be everything that I need. Ansible Playbook, testing if, and let's see what happens. Expected character 95. All right, so let's see what's wrong with our template. I did not close my quotes. Thought that I did that. All right, let's try that again. All right, so what I'm going to do here is Ansible all cat tmp.apache or apache.txt. And if you notice for AN05, we get a different line because of the value that would have been for that particular Ansible fact. So takeaways from this, and I'm not going to get around to actually making a full configuration file, but I think if you're watching this and kind of following along, you get the idea of how these templates work. And then for me, I've done this enough on some of the other videos. I'm pretty sure I can make this happen for the configuration files and such. But my takeaways are, I think I'm pretty well ready to go on templates as far as conceptually understanding what to do with them. However, I do have to make sure that I memorize my syntax for comments. I did not look, let me look at this real quick. Was just looking to see if there was a plugin that would be useful for that. Okay, so there may be some documentation somewhere about templates as far as syntax, but I think it would be easy enough for me to just memorize what the comment syntax is for a template, because quite frankly, even outside the realm of RHCE, that's something I'm going to need to know if I'm doing stuff in Ansible for system administration tasks. So I know this video was a bit long. I want to thank you for sticking with it with me. Hopefully you found this useful. Again, it's not a tutorial, but as I'm obviously encountering a few problems and doing some troubleshooting, maybe this would be helpful for you if you encounter some of the same problems. You get an idea of how to work your way through them. If you did enjoy this and or find it useful, make sure you do click like on the video. That helps the channel, and feel free to share this with others. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do click that subscribe button and ring the bell when you do, so you can be notified of when new content is available. Thanks again for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you the next time.